Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck, if you've ever been a lady to begin with, luck be a lady tonight.
And hello everybody, this is Kanuki and welcome to, once again, your Division GMan 5D feed of the fresh divs of the GMan. So, instead of doing something different, I'm going to do something totally different today. I am going to, I'm just going to ignore all of the results. We'll take a look at the leaderboard if we have a little time. But instead, it's about midway through the season. We've got 7 games total to play, and we've played 4. So actually, we're past the halfway point. And I'd like to take a look at who the players of the half season have been for all of you. I've made some personal nominations, which we'll get to in a bit, of the best player, my MVP star players of each of your teams. But first, we're going to go through what the stats say. What do the best categories, the best players in each category in the league look like so far? So first up, the SPP development is certainly landing on the Pro Elves, with Viking Cop's Marvelous Mayhem taking all 3 top spots, with Ian Illusion and Marvelous Mayhem, Marvin Meteor for Marvelous Mayhem taking second in silver, and Barbara Bolt taking third. Let's see what the top 20, overall looks like there. And yes, lots of elves up in the top half of the table there, with the Marvelous Mayhems, and then Amun, or Kemri Throra, and Pantera, a Necro White, taking up another couple of the spots there. The Orcs have a couple here with Hamstown and House of the Raisin Buns. Gotta love that name. Urmael, 20. It's a lineman from Bumps, his most developed player. Vonis, Milzo, Stiletta the Witch, and a number of other players, including a few more for the Marvelous Mayhem. So even though Viking Cop is not getting the development, he's not getting the results so far, he is getting the development on his players. So something is at least going right for him. Next category up, we have, once again, Most Violent and Marvin Meteor of the Marvelous Mayhems. All this alliteration in this division, I can't get over it. And then Hamstown of the Hungry Harmonies, the Dr. Nick's Orcs taking second there with the silver, and the aforementioned Pantera, who's died once but got better, of the Horror Hordes. So, looking at the overall, we'll just look at the top 10s for now. Some pretty tight in terms of overall. I guess these are overall injuries in a game rather than Kaz. I think Kaz has its own category later. Best receivers, no questions here. Again, the Marvelous Mayhem, racking up all of the top tier positions so far, with receivers, of course, the catchers being the stars of the Pro Elf teams. I'm going to have to do this again. And some of the best receivers in the game totally. So both catchers for the Marvelous Mayhem getting that position. And then we'll take a look at the top. Let's see here. Oh, no, then we have Fraser Bear Brain Ravager also grabbing third spot. But let's see actually how the breakdown looks. Yeah, quite close at the top with Barbara Bolt with 3, Hannah Harlequin, Fraser Bear Brain Ravager, and Lucy Lightning, also of the Marvelous Mayhem, dominating those pro elves are dominating most of those passing and receiving stats. We haven't even looked at the passing stats yet. All right. Serial killer once again. Total kills, or we're seeing Marvin Mayhem and a couple of mummies or tomb guardians, one of each actually, bringing up the second and third spots. And so Urihur, the Khemri tomb guardian, and two of the players from We See Dead People Again, that would be Kiwi Boys Undead, are bringing up the total to 4 kills overall in the season so far. So nothing else really counts there. Best interceptors. This is a no contest. Only one intercept, and it's an interesting one, and we'll take a look at that later. That's Nirvana, the ghoul from the Horror Hordes. And Brutes, and this is looking at Kaz. We're seeing Urihur of the Old Brothers in Arms, Irwin Doors, Khemri, bringing up the top with 4. And We See Dead People Again, Kiwi Boys, that's another, Maya the Elder, Kiwi Boys, Mummy getting second. And then we have Davion, the sickly #1 fan. How many kills is that? Oh, sorry, Kaz is that? That's 3 Kaz for that zombie. Or Rotter, as the case may be. And yeah, quite a lot of damage overall in this division. Best throwers, not even going to bother with this. Of course, it's going to be Ian Illusion up top. But a bit of a surprise here, Knuma, Old Brothers in Arms. So this is pretty much the category for me in terms of looking at the overall scope. Ian Illusion way out in front, and this is of course passing yards. Best throwers, best passers is another category, but not really worth bothering with. But Knuma, despite I believe Ian Illusion having how many passes? 14 passes in order to get, of course, that would be his total, including Greenhorn, so we shouldn't count that. But in terms of, but anyway, Ian Illusion will have had way more passes than our throw-off friend Knuma. But Knuma has had 1 single pass, and of course, it is a legendary pass for 18 yards, a 6+ on a crazy play. Khemri ball to the max. Best rushers, we're looking at running the ball. Nirvana, the ghoul, running out ahead with that. Amun, the other throw raw, which is not as much of a throw raw as a run raw, getting second, and then some other players as well. There's a Nurgle Pestigore for you from Old Yella getting the 3rd spot there. So Old Yella at least making some showing in these tables. Best passers, not even going to bother with. Best scorers, Stiletta right out in front. No surprise there. Booms' Witch. And Accept, you have to accept, is going to be scoring a lot of goals for the Necro there on the Horror Hordes. And bringing up 3rd, well, it's a draw for 2nd with Amun and a few other players, and then a couple scraping the bottom with only 1, but who cares about those? 1 matches played, who cares about that? Best punching bags. Judas Priest, the other wolf from the Horror Hordes, taking the most punches to the face. Marvelous Mayhem at lineman for the Pro Elves getting 2nd. And once again, we've seen Davion getting punched as well as doing punching. All right. So those are the top players of each category in the various categories that these stats in Blood Bowl are taken care of. However, I, in my infinite wisdom, have decided to make my own choices, irregardless or influenced somewhat by those, and have nominated those in a poll of the best players I've discovered over the course of watching you guys play in the last 4 games on each of your teams. And those, in no particular order, Okay, they are in a particular order. But I'm going to reveal that order to you now. My pick from Old Brothers in Arms was really a toss-up between the two Camry throw raws. Irwindor has a very nice blodge throw raw in Amun, but really that throw from Kamuna, to make that 18-yard crazy 6+ passing play has to get the nomination ahead of his throw raw brethren. On the Dr. Nick's Hungry Hungry Harmonies, I'm giving it to Hamstown. Hamstown, hands down, the best player on those orcs of the Dr. Nick. And when we come to Old Yella and his Wretched Wanderers, they have had a wretched season all season, but we have had one clear standout on that team, and that has been the Beast of Nurgle, Fluffy. He blitzes. He does everything. But he's the best absolutely at hugging. He loves giving the hugs, and we'll see how he gives the hugs in these highlights to come. In Kiwi Boys Undead Team, we see dead people again. I have to give it to Pengi the Vanguard. Not only has he had a kill, he has mastered the art of skillful positioning, staying at the vanguard of his team while all the action moves about him. And then we can move on to Horror Hordes. Yes, I'm going to give it to the Ghoul Nirvana, if for nothing else than his amazing interception of a ball that was passed by Booms and his, I think, lineman to the Wolf on turn 8. And the Ghouls have none of that. Nirvana said, no, this is my ball. Grabbed it out of the air. And Booms' own team, very high heels, the Dark Elves. That was a tough one, both for him and for me to decide. First I had Stiletta in there. Maybe that would be a preference. And, but no, in the end, he made a good case for his Blodge lineman Ermael, who has actually picked up a huge number of key plays, including some sacks, some Kaz, an all-around good player, and as we saw, I believe his highest earning experienced player this season. Well, all of the other ones have pretty much died, haven't they? And then finally, last but not least, unfortunately, it's Dreamify, with only one touchdown to his name this season. I had to give it, although I wanted to give it to that lovely Beastman with plus movement, it had to go instead to Unborn Brother, the only player that has scored a touchdown in the division for Dreamify and his Chaos Dream Guard this season. Much to the sort of overall theme of Dreamify this season, the hero of the moment had his thunder stolen from him by his big brother at the same time, with unrealized ambition, going in for a 3 dice and getting a nice removal and a movement bust on Tiny Baby Graveflare, the ghoul, the Blodge Ghoul. So let's see how you all decided to vote on my choices for your players of the half season.